All right. Can you all hear me? Just let me know in the live chat. All right. Samuel, can you hear me? That's good. Again, I'll start at 4 minutes. So if you come in, let me know in the live chat. I see one thumbs up. Thank you very much. So again, I'll start at 4 minutes. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back, but still not going to begin at 4 minutes. So just a half a minute more. I see Curly Girl is here. Glad you're here, Curly Girl. It's good. I see there are 4 thumbs up. Thanks very much for everyone who gave a thumbs up. Well, lad is here. Glad you're here, well, lad. Okay, it's 4 minute mark. My apologies, was a bit delayed. Class has begun. All right. One question for you all, and I want you all to answer. Joanna, you're right on time. How many of you ever experienced a bad day? With a bad day, I mean the following: bad stuff perpetrating on that day. Because as believers, we only have good days because we're saved. So what I mean is, how many of you experienced days or a day when there were bad things keep perpetrating, whether it's a headache or whether it's your computer kept failing or whatever it is, and suddenly when the situation was resolved, there were people popping up. How many of you have been through that? Let me know in the live chat. Let me know. Okay. Well, let me tell you something a bit odd that happened lately. And I'm going to give you some background. I have I had a LinkedIn account till in 2000 early 2016, I believe, or something like that. But it was hacked at some point, and I was thinking, huh, what the heck? So I decided I'm not going to enter that account anymore. I do receive email notifications when people search for me on LinkedIn. Okay, when people search for my name, that's what I get. Which you get that when you are a premium member. I'm not a premium member anymore. So, but anyway, sometimes I get email message saying, "Oh, four people look for you, or so many people look for you on LinkedIn this week, or whatever." Now, it happened rarely because I'm not even on LinkedIn. The profile exists, but it was hacked, so I thought I'm not going to mess with that profile anymore. I use an academia profile. You have an academia.edu profile. That's what I use, and I have a ResearchGate profile. Those are my two academic social media: ResearchGate and academia.edu. On academia.edu, you also get a notification when someone reads one of the publications you've posted, or when someone finds your profile. If someone looks for Rashid Dosset on Google and they click on my academia.edu profile, they'll be registered as a hit. And I get an email message, someone found your profile by using a Google search this today or this week. Now, I've noticed in the past, I'd say 2 months almost, that I get a lot of pop-ups of people looking for me on LinkedIn and also through Google finding my academia profile on academia.edu. The thing is, my two web shops are offline at the moment. So my phone number is not available to the public. It is not. Yet there were phone numbers calling me, sometimes out of the blue, days after one another. And I would check those phone numbers online, and you get websites warning you this is a scam number. I'm thinking, okay. Then one day, that was like 2 weeks ago or 2.5 weeks ago, someone called me anonymously. And I was thinking, so I picked up and I remained quiet to just to hear who the other individual is. Normally, I don't pick up when someone calls me anonymously. But I forgot that my earphones were in, so I couldn't hear what the individual was saying. So I just went to my earphones quickly after a few seconds, and there was a voice of some female. I was thinking, who is this individual? Just hang up. I'm called again in just a minute. This time the phone number appears, but I didn't pick up. I went to WhatsApp to type in the number to figure out, does this phone number has a WhatsApp account? It did. I don't know who this individual is. Never seen nor talked to this individual before. Am I thinking, if you call someone twice, they may have WhatsApp, right? Why don't you go there? Or why don't you send an email? Why don't you leave a voicemail? Okay, long story short, that happened. Shortly after that, I began to feel heavy. And slowly it accumulated into me having that facial pain again. Intense facial pain. And yesterday it was at a peak. It was a burning sensation all the time. And my body is healthy. I sleep enough. I don't eat sugars. I eat healthy. I work out. So I was thinking, what is this? So on the WhatsApp group, on the WhatsApp groups and Telegram groups, I asked the believers for prayers in the crease. Many of you did. One brother even called me to pray with me. Shortly after this, after about an hour an hour, the facial pain began to dissolve more and more. It kept on a little bit, but after like a few hours, it was gone. And now today, I was extra tired, so I kept sleeping more and more. And I woke up in the afternoon. I slept in like in 2 extra hours. No facial pain whatsoever. If it was a medical condition, it wouldn't stop after me asking people to pray for me. It would continue if it was an actual medical thing. It isn't. And what do you know? When I woke up, I went to my mobile phone and I got an email on my Gmail account, and it was an email from my academia profile, reporting to me that someone found my profile after a Google search. So I thought before I began this live stream, I was fellowshipping on the phone with our brother in Kansas. That's the brother that they still try to set up, but is failing. And we came to the conclusion, Donovan and Rashid, we know coincidence does not exist. How come we go through intense facial pain that accumulate within just a few days? Many believers all over the earth decree and pray for you. It dissolves within just a few hours. And now you get the message that someone looked for you. And with academia.edu, when someone looks for you on Google, they use the IP address of that individual to kind of locate in which city or village the individual looked for you. You won't get a name nor IP address, but you, for example, if someone in Russia, let's say someone in St. Petersburg types in Rashid Dostit and they find my academia profile, I'll get a hint. Someone found your profile from St. Petersburg, Russia. For example, that's how it goes. This time, I mean, today, when I found this notification, it was someone from some Dutch village I never visited. I didn't even know this village exists. Someone from some village I didn't even know existed looked for me on Google and found my academia profile. Now, why am I sharing this? I want to put out something to you. Coincidence does not exist. The thing called coincidence is just an excuse for us not want to look deeper into something. Look, if you walk into a shop and you wear a blue coat and you see other people also wearing blue coats, then it can be because blue coats are in sale. Because that more people have blue coats. It doesn't mean that you have a deep destiny with those people or whatever. So I'm not telling you to overreact and to become paranoid or whatever. Just realize that this thing called coincidence is a hoax. It does not exist. Especially when the issue appears like a pattern. So you have a lot of people looking for me on LinkedIn and on Google, and they come to my academia profile. But my question is, if there's so many people searching for me and I get notification of it, why don't they just email me? Because my YouTube email is available, it's public. Also, I have 2 Facebook profiles that you can approach me on directly. I also have a Twitter account I seldom use, but you also can contact me over there. Also on Instagram, you can send you can DM me. So I'm thinking, if I get so many notifications, people are looking for me in a series of past 2 months, and suddenly now you have this intense facial pain that develops, and on Sunday when it stops, again someone popped up looking for me. So I didn't make any conclusion yet about the matter, but I noticed a pattern. The last time I had this intense facial pain was in 2019 when I was in Guatemala doing fieldwork research. And that was just a week before my thesis supervisor of my first master degree told me, Rashid, your master is done, you've graduated. So a week before I got the message that my thesis for European Union Studies was approved, I got intense nerve pain at my face in Guatemala. I began to decree and declare for hours, and it stopped. Then a week later, I get the good news, your thesis for your first master has been approved. So I graduated from my first master when I was in Guatemala. Now, soon after that, I hear that my supervisor for Latin American studies, the second ones I was doing, had health issues. So now I had to get another supervisor that delayed me. But eventually I graduated for that too in 2020, right before I moved to Korea temporarily. So what I'm saying is that when things happen, we need to check the timing. The last time I had this so-called nerve pain issue was all the way 2019, and it was quite intense. And at the time, I was achieving something else in life. And this time, now that I take extra rest, again, I see a lot of searches towards me. Now you have this intense issue coming again, and now it's all gone. Saints, listen to what I'm saying here. There is no such thing as coincidence. Whenever something off happens in your life, check the timing and check everything happens around the time it happens. That is something people seldom do. Now, I'm not sure whether it can be that it's due to backfiring, that multitudes of people will seek to try to put witchcraft attacks on me. That can be the case. It can also be that I'm breaking through in some area that I'm not even aware of yet, and others notice it and try to look up, oh, who's this or she keep talking about? I don't know. But in any case, whatever I experienced past days, which reached its peak yesterday, it was paranormal. It was paranormal. And that's something I'm teaching you here. Anytime something quite off happens and happens suddenly, nothing suddenly happens in reality. In reality, we experience things as sudden because we didn't anticipate them, but suddenly doesn't actually exist in reality. Everything that happens had warning signals ahead of time. Good things happen, and good things also have symptoms that something good is about to happen. But good and bad things have echoes that precede them. So I'm still going into prayer, and I'm still going to keep fasting about this whole issue to figure out what is actually going on. I don't have a conclusion complete about it yet, but I felt the urge to go online and do this live stream. And I see many of you are in the live stream right now. So if you received the message yesterday and you prayed for me, thanks. After your prayers, things dissolved within just a few hours. Now I can actually walk around and I can actually move my face without any scratching, piercing pain going through my skin. So, saints, your prayers and decrees are effective. So, that is why fellowship is quite important. Because we will go through retaliation as long as Christ has not come back. I don't care how anointed you are. Even if you're anointed with 1,000 gifts, you're still a fragile creature, because that's what human beings are. Human beings are fragile creatures. And as a fragile creature, you will experience your fragility in life. That's not a bad thing because we're designed as fragile creatures, but during this lifetime, your fragility can be used against you. I don't care how anointed you are. I don't care if you have 1,000 gifts. You're still a human being that's powered by the Holy Spirit. You're not the Holy Spirit. You're just a human being powered by the Holy Spirit. And reprobates, they'll be crying and exploding. So we know we will go to retaliation till Christ comes back. That's why it's important to know what retaliation is, how to approach it, and what to do about it. And that's what this YouTube channel is all about teaching believers on how to deal with retaliation in a practical way. And that's why having groups of fellowship is important. Right now, I'm a bit weakened at the moment, but in 2022, I'm not promising anything. I don't do promises. I do pledges. I pledge myself to look for better ways I can organize group fellowships for my subscribers. So that also you have smaller groups for one another. If I need to pay for it myself, I'll do it. I don't mind. Fellowship is extremely important. I don't care how many gifts from the Holy Spirit you have. I don't care how much Bible you know. I don't care how much you fast and pray. Fellowship is key because we are community creatures. Nobody is an island. Mm-hmm. So, saints, I'm asking you, you don't have to tell the whole story in the live chat, don't. But if any of you experienced something similar to what I've been through, it may have not been with nerve pain in your face, causing your face to be inflamed. Has any of you experienced some sudden disruption in your life, painful disruption, and suddenly after a lot of prayer and thought, it just went away? I'm asking again because these are things we need to be open and direct about. These things happen. And I've been through things like this often in my life. So I'm a bit used to it. But just because you're used to it doesn't mean it's okay. You can get used to the wrong things also, and that's bad. Yes. Oh, Suzanne, that's true. In the Arab world, not all Arabs are Muslim, but anyway, in the Arab world and also in the Muslim world, you have this thing called the evil eye. And let me explain what the evil eye is very quickly. The evil eye simply means a negative focus of a community upon you. When you have a negative focus of a group of people on you, it doesn't have to be one individual, because one individual with a negative focus can only affect individuals nearby, within 20 kilometers. But if a group of people have a negative focus on you, they are sending energetic shocks towards you in a sharp way. Those energy shocks, when they reach you through the electromagnetic field of the earth, it will escalate on your energy field. That's a psychic attack. So evil eye is when you have a negative focus on you. Now that negative focus, it's just you being the target of negative focus. It doesn't mean that you did something wrong to trigger it or that you brought it on yourself. Look, I don't care how private you claim you are, but first of all, privacy doesn't even exist. I don't care how much you hide yourself. The fact you are alive means that there will be some folks out there who just want to escalate on someone because they don't want to do anything in life. So understand this, the evil eye is real. That's why pagans have all types of coping mechanisms on how to deal with a negative focus. So we should not have to cope with any negative focus from anything or anyone. Indeed, Psalms 91 is a good song, absolutely. And look, what I want to achieve with this live stream is to get this idea out of your head so that you can finally realize that coincidence is not real. Suzanne, you asked, what please do they do? What do you mean, Suzanne? So I want to understand what you asked so that I can answer it directly. Look, pagans cope with a negative focus by putting lucky charms and all of that, which all work, but it's all temporarily, and there are side effects. And it doesn't deal with the root of it. We, as saints, we decree the Psalms, especially Psalms 91, is a very powerful one. We do all of this when we're dealing with a negative focus. This is the difference between how pagans deal with a negative focus and how believers should deal with it. I said should because not a lot of believers do it. When pagans know they will have a negative focus on them eventually, so they put an additional charm on the energy fields that will keep negative shocks at bay. Yes, pagans, they bait in demon excrement on top of the energy field that will keep a negative shocks at bay. Now, the negative shocks of the negative focus are still there, but it just won't affect them directly. It's like a painkiller. But here's the thing, a painkiller kills off the sensation of pain, but the actual situation is not dealt with. So pagans, when they fast and pray, fast they do for a mental and physical focus, which works out for their physical health, and decreeing to do with the aid of charms. That's what they do. But the pagan always has side effects, and the negative focus is not dealt with. So the pagan is actually escaping the negative focus. They don't overcome it. And they have to keep on renewing the charm over and over again. The believer, a charm is when pagans do a ritual and the demons, in response to the ritual, smear some of their excrement on top of the energy field of the pagan. And that becomes an additional layer on the energy field of the pagan as to hinder negative tension from coming near that individual. That's what a charm is. And there are pagans actually doing spells and all of that as those type of protection. Well, I don't know how you can think a spell is going to protect you, but okay, pagans do it. But believers, the way we should operate is, first of all, we have to be at peace. Okay, that's one thing. And because we're at peace, we can analyze the situation. And then we not only decree and declare, but also act in the physical world. So if you feel fatigue overtaking you, then you know that something's off. Then you take your extra rest because you know you're under attack. And you also keep decreeing and declaring. You listen to good music to relax you also. So we do take physical steps in combination with prayer and fast. We don't just pray and fast and just lay on our lazy behinds for things to happen. We are walking by faith. We're not standing by faith. We're walking by faith. And that's how we eventually shut down the psychic attack. Now, people will still have a negative focus, but negative focus will not succeed against you. That's the difference between the pagan and the believer. Now, someone asked, what's the deal with excrement and pagans? Okay, let me explain. Angelic beings have no energy fields. They don't. Angelic beings are light beings, but they can only be healthy and functional when they eat the joy of the Lord. The Heavenly Father emits fierce joy out of him, and this fierce joy becomes the literal food that angelic beings eat in the heavens. Okay, so the joy of the Lord is the bread or the food of angelic beings. What happens when angelic beings eat the joy of the Lord, his joyful emissions? Angelic beings have no organs inside. So what's going to happen? They eat it up, the joy of the Lord, and as a result, in their shape, it generates light and glory. That's how angelic beings operate. So that's why angelic beings are not meant to be outside of the heavens for long. All right? Now, the angelic beings that were kicked out of heaven, the fallen ones, they still need to feed themselves, but they can't feed themselves with the joy of the Lord. So, in a fallen state, what do they feed themselves with? Traumatic emissions from human beings. So those fallen angels, they eat the traumatic tensions that our energy fields emit, and in their shapes, it generates a type of excrement that comes out of them. And it's this demon excrement that comes out of those fallen ones when they eat the negative emissions from human beings. It is excrement that they smear on top of the energy fields of pagans as a layer of protection. That's why those that worship the Baphomet, they have physical excrement rituals in which you have to swim in excrement and swim in dung to worship the demons. Is the connection between excrement and paganism clear now? Let me know in the live chat. Us human beings, we are multi-dimensional. Okay, we are spirit beings with a physical instrument called the body. Our bodies need food and water and clothes. Okay, that's how we maintain our bodies. Practical nutrition through food and water, or juice or whatever, and also by keeping us warm. And our human bodies will take out the waste material through pee or through poop, which will be recycled by the earth. That's how we work physically. On a spirit level, we need communication with other human beings, we need social bonds, and we need the peace of from the Holy Spirit. So we human beings are multidimensional, and we need to be fed too. We need to be fed we need to be fed social bonds and the peace of the Holy Spirit as on the spirit level, on the physical level. You already know food, water, clothes, you name it. Angelic beings, which are all men, the only supply they need is the joy of the Lord in the heavens. That's it, and they're fed, and they need this as fuel to remain glorious. Yes, the angelic beings are all immortal, but they're not independent. None of them are. So actually, the fallen ones are really hungry parasites, starving parasites is all they are, and they need our traumatic emissions to feed from. Indeed, Suzanne Roberts says in the live chat, this is why a certain individual will serve the darkness, create traumatic events to feed the demons. Indeed. So understand this. Angelic beings in the heavens, the food they eat is the joy of the Lord, which is called manna. Now, there was a physical manna that the Lord generated for the Israelites, but it's angelic beings that eat the joy of the Lord. They're the strong, fierce energy emissions from God. So, understand the following. The paranormal is nothing impressive. And I believe 2 days ago, I was fellowshipping with some brothers from the United States, and we were going through some of the demonic principalities that were afflicting one of our brothers, our brother in Kansas, and knowing where to look, because pagans have books with names of demonic principalities and how to call them and how to conjure them up, all of that. So we went through some of the literature, at least I could because I know about it, and you'll be surprised. Well, I'm not surprised, but you'll be surprised. Pagans give fancy titles to demons: Grand Duke, Great Lord, the Grand Earl. And I was thinking, and we were thinking, come on now, why calling these entities so many fancy titles, man? Cut it out. But that's what they do in the world. And that's why I'm telling you, if you encounter a church where they keep mentioning this thing, kingdom of darkness, please get out of that church. If by now you still use the term kingdom of darkness, you need to check yourself. So what does that have to do with coincidence being a hoax? Here's the thing. The fallen ones, those starving parasites, they need you, the human being, to be traumatized. They need you to be either traumatized or toxic. Either you're traumatized or you're toxic. Those are two states they want you in. Or better said, in negativity. They want you to be either traumatized, that is wounded, or they want you to be toxic. So long-term self-destructive. Because in those two states, they can feed off of you and they can become relevant. So Because human beings in general operate in cycles, evil spirits want to keep us in destructive cycles so that we can be predictable for them. They need us to be predictable so they can know what to do. And one thing I've noticed about evil spirits is that they're not really that fast as we think they are. Sometimes it takes a while for evil spirits to realize, this doesn't work. We need to try something else. So evil spirits, when they notice that you're getting out of a cycle, they will notice it. But evil spirits are arrogant, thinking, well, Gino just came out of the cycle of victimization, but Gino will fall back like most human beings do. They just gave him 2 months. Within 2 months, you'll see he'll be smacked around again. But then realize, oh wait, Gino it has been 6 months now, and Gino has not been victimized anymore. Oh dear, we need to do something. And then the demons will hijack the people around Gino, trying to cause Gino to be traumatized again. Maybe Gino is on his way to work in the metro, and suddenly someone across him in the metro starts looking at him very angry. This individual, his body has been taken over by a demon. It's a demon uses that body to stare at Gino. And Gino is thinking, oh, why is this individual looking at me this angry? This is to cause Gino to get uncomfortable. And once this happens over and over again, Gino is tricked again into this cycle of victimization. That's how demons operate. So that's why I'm telling you, there is no such thing as coincidence. Anytime you are moving away from the demonic pattern that you were trapped in, the demons will respond with some type of traumatic event or some type of shocking event to trick you back into the demonic pattern. Coincidences don't even exist. Okay, so this is what I'm already been saying this live stream. I've made live streams about generational curses. Generational curses are called transgenerational trauma among scientists. Generational curses are patterns of traumatic patterns that are transferred to you by your parents. So there is a demonic counterpart to it, but it comes down to your parents had certain trauma that epigenetically they transferred onto you. So you can get therapy for that and move away from it, but you also have the social context in which people are used to seeing you a certain way. So that will be something you need to overcome too. And demons will do whatever they can just to keep you there. So understand the following. The world, or better said, society, operates in cycles. That's it. And cycles are maintained through patterns. Okay? So when you move away from a pattern, you automatically get out of a cycle. And when this happens, you cause a disruption. And others will experience the disruption. So the disruption others experience is because you moved away from a cycle. So the disruption they experience is what they call coincidence. So let's say now someone that used to know you still thinks you're on drugs, for example. I'm using an extreme example. Let's say someone that used to know you still thinks you're on drugs, but you're clean now. You're not doing drugs anymore, and you also got a job now. You being out of this self-destructive cycle caused a disruption in a negative flow of energy in the earth realm. So now suddenly, those people that still think you're on drugs, they get chronic fatigue, or some of their electronic devices break, whatever. It is because those people are invested in negativity against you. So now that the negative investment has been shut down, they experience a backlash. And then they look you up on Google or whatever and find out, whoa, Mark is doing trade school now. And he looks quite happy. He doesn't look starved like he used to when he was on meth. So now they'll think, oh, that's coincidence. So Mark is moving ahead in life. Now we face all kinds of minor accidents over here. What they call coincidence it's just a energetic disruption that happens. So do you understand now what coincidence really is? And sometimes it even happens that when people notice that they encounter minor accidents and you're moving ahead in life, they'll try to look you up. And that's how you have people from the past popping up. You have strangers just popping up around you out of the blue. And you think, right now that I'm making a step forward in life, you have those people just popping up. Oh, coincidence. No, no, no. It's coincidence, not accident. Nothing just happens just like that. What you see is a response to the disruption you've caused. Anytime you move away from darkness, you cause a disruption in the earth realm. Because most human beings on the earth operate in darkness. So flows of negative energy is the norm. So anytime you move away from darkness, you cause a disruption in the flow of negative energy. And there are people going to experience this disruption. And once they experience disruption, they want to try to figure out where does it come from. And then you have people trying to look you up, thinking, how come, what happened to you? So what you consider coincidence is just a response for them to figure out who caused this disruption. And once they figure out that you caused a disruption, they will try to put you back into a cycle of negativity. All right? So that is what coincidence really is. Coincidence itself does not exist. Like something just happens out of the blue. Nothing happens out of the blue. Nothing. So now you know never to use the term coincidence again, because you know those are just what they consider what they call omens in the paranormal, or symptoms that either you broke through or either people are reacting or retaliating against you breaking through. So there are no coincidences. There are only symptoms. And we need to learn to discern the symptoms. Just like Mark said here, Mark Jr. said in the live chat, once you're on your way to be freed from a pattern, they will send someone right after to make you fall back worse. Once done their job, they will flee and forget about you. It's true. Okay. Anyone that comes in the live chat with doubt and all of that, you're blocked. Not going to happen over here. Things I'm talking about, you can research it yourself. Various people in paganism even talk about this, even many pastors. So if you're not willing to do the research yourself, don't come to this live stream. I will pray for you, but you should also pray for one another, as we all should. We should also pray for one another. So, anytime you make any move in life that deviates from the paranormal cycle that the community around you is involved in, expect there to be some type of bad reaction from the public towards you. And have you guys ever experienced this? That you have people that pop up in your life just like that. Maybe it's people from the past, or maybe new people, and suddenly they just disappear. And when you look back, you realize that, hold on a minute, things were going well. This individual appears, suddenly things go bad, individual is gone. How many of you have seen that? The people just pop up and they just disappear out of the blue again. Here's the thing. A lot of people in the world can easily be hacked by demons. So demons may, for example, I've experienced this. I'm on the phone talking to some brothers in Christ, and suddenly someone just calls me, either on Messenger, Facebook Messenger, or on WhatsApp, whatever. Someone calls me, and I'm thinking, from all the moments throughout the day, you call me right now that I'm fellowshipping with others on the phone. Why couldn't you send a text message or whatever? Or it can be I'm doing a live stream, and during the live stream, people just come and ask some intrusive questions that have nothing to do with the topic. What's going on? Evil spirits can hack people's brain and push them to do things. So it can be that I'm doing a live stream and out of the blue, someone I haven't spoken to for over 6 years decides to look up my number and call me. I don't pick up. Later, I call them back and they don't pick up either. They don't even respond when I ask them, why did you call me? The thing is, they don't even know why they called me. It's because demons took over their brain for a few seconds and pushed them to call me. That's what I mean. People that don't want to face the spirit world, and people that remain with defective ways of thinking, evil spirits can hack them. Some become demonic portals. And then you have people who are just following you because they want to stop you, because you moving forward makes them look bad. So they just want to follow you to sabotage you at some point. Instead of them looking at themselves in the mirror and decide, I want to be better than I was yesterday, no. Because they don't want to make the effort to face things, to process things, because that's too uncomfortable. They just want to bring others down so that they're not challenged. That's it. Indeed. Mark Jr. said in the live chat, they will even use your family to push you into running into people from your past who hated you and try to start conflict. That's why sending peace is imperative. Look, I'm not saying everything that happens in your life is because of some retaliation or some sabotage from others. I'm not saying that. We're not paranoid over here. That's why we need to always be active in sending peace ahead of us. We should be fasting and praying as a lifestyle, and we have to pay attention to the timing. Timing matters. So again, I don't know why so many people are trying to look me up right now. Oh, and to be clear, they can't find me because I did it in such a smart way that nobody can figure out where I am. Some legal trick I've used that nobody can find out where I am that quickly. So I won't say too much on how I did it, but I use a legal trick that's legal here in the Netherlands just so that they can't find me that easily. I did that. So I'm kind of anonymous to the Dutch government right now. Praise the Lord. And the government institutions, which I'm happy about. Okay, anyways, ask how to know the difference between random negativity in the earth realm and energetic interference. Okay, we know that most human beings on the earth operate in the negative. So you will encounter negative tension out of the blue because it's just around, okay? It is around. So you will encounter it. So when you just walk into and you feel quite off, okay, it can happen. That's why sending peace out of you is important. But if you have bad stuff keep perpetrating themselves on you very quickly, that's negative interference that goes on over there. You also have positive interference. Okay, that's a good thing. Positive interference you should always welcome, but negative interference you have to bypass or shut down immediately. Are there any more questions about this topic? Please ask them right now. Because I don't, I, the live stream is a short one today. I don't want to stay here that long because many of you have to work or do other stuff also. So if you have questions about this topic, please ask them right now. Yeah, yes, Nadine. I'm always staying safe. I always am ahead of stuff. Okay. About fellowship. What what you can do is just reach out to one another through email or whatever methods you use. Just stay in contact. My Google Photos album is the fact still, so I think I need to create a new one. So I'll try to do that. I also have the WhatsApp groups, also and Telegram group. Also, I'll check out what I can do more to organize in the close fellowship for all of you when I'm not online. I can't um, I can't guarantee it will be very quick because I need to take extra rest these days, just in case. But I'll do my best. But if any of you have a suggestion or you also have an initiative, it's welcome also. Okay, let's see if another question. Positive interference is when people, is what happened to me yesterday, where the saints were decreeing and praying on my behalf, and it helped shutting down whatever attack was going on. Okay, that's positive interference. Positive interference can also be that things go wrong around you as a way to keep you safe. Let's say you want to take the bus to work, but at the bus station, you realize you don't have your bus card. You have to go home again. And later you hear that the bus crashed on the road. Well, that's positive interference. So positive interference is when things go wrong as a way to keep you safe. Negative interference is when things just go wrong and there's no context of why they go wrong. Okay? Okay, let's see if I missed out any other question. Hold on. Let's see. What's the Telegram group? Let me check if I can generate the link over here. Oh, by the way, for the Telegram group, I made a community post with a link on it. Go to community post, check the community post about the Telegram group, and click on the link. Then you can join the group, but you need to have a Telegram app on your phone for it. Hey, Steve. Is that Steve? Yes, brother Steve. Steve, you're not missing anything if you leave now because I'm just answering some questions here. Thanks for being here, Steve. Okay. I didn't get any other. Um, okay, I have one more question here. When things go wrong and it's a setup, how do you handle it? Okay. When you sense, and this is something I want all of you who are here to pick up well. All right. Before any violence or tragedy happens on the earth, there are always echoes going out first. Because remember, we are spirit beings with physical instruments called the body, operating in a physical realm. So, and as spirit beings, we are connected to the electromagnetic field of the earth. Okay? So that means anyone with a bad motive sends out a signal into the uh, Earth's electromagnetic field. So let's say you have a guy called John and he wants to rape someone today. He sends out rape vibes into the electromagnetic field of the earth. So everyone around John can feel this rape vibe coming from him. Most people don't recognize it and just like that. So any woman that's around can easily feel there's something creepy about this John. If the women pay attention to their intuition and stay away from John, John is not able to rape anyone. But if the women around him don't know how listen to their intuition and they keep around John, or if you have some of those women who are invested in negativity, John can have his way. If you have women invested in negativity, though to feministic thinking or whatever, there's a magnetic click that happens between her and the rapist, and the rape is likely to happen. So everything that happens on the earth has everything on the earth has an energetic echo that goes before it. Again, no tragedy and no violence occurs without an echo going out first. So you're able to pick up the echoes. So if you are praying and fasting and suddenly feel tired, then begin to send peace out of you, begin to decrease Psalms 23, begin to decrease Psalms 120, begin to sing the Psalms and do all of that. And if suddenly you get the feeling to avoid certain people, you do it. Let's say you want to go to the supermarket and you send peace out of you, and suddenly you have an echo that comes back, like you feel like you're being stabbed or whatever. Then you notice that there's some contention going on at the supermarket. Maybe go to the supermarket later on. So we need to learn to pick up the echoes in the earth realm. We have to. It's not just human behavior you need to look at. It's also the echoes you pick up. But let's say now that you realize that something is up. What you do about it is you crash it ahead of time. If it's already happening, you can still crash it. Send confusion, diversion, and exhaustion into the enemy's camp and into the circumstance. So the circumstance will exhaust itself and dissolve. That's what you do. It may not dissolve immediately, but it will dissolve eventually. That's why learn to be ahead of things before they're unfolding, because once they're unfolding, it's more difficult to shut it down. So always be ahead of stuff. So pay attention to your intuition so you can pick up the echoes around you. And I made live streams talking about the echo, and I have a live stream called hold on. Let me look up how this live stream is called on my mobile phone. I have a live stream in which I talked about it. And in that live stream, I talk more about this echo and how you can pick it up. Hold on. It's called Sexual Compass. I made a live stream 2 months ago. Check that live stream to know more about the echoes that I'm talking about. Thank you very much. All right. Let's see. CA is telling the truth in live chat. There's usually some type of red flags, intuition to sense something might be wrong, even though they can't point or put the finger on the situation. And there's one thing you need to understand also. When you catch an echo that something is off, you don't have the physical proof yet that something is wrong. Okay, I'm talking about an echo that your intuition puts up. I'm not talking about some suspicious emotion of yourself. If an echo you pick up with your intuition, always be on guard when you get it. If you're a manager and you get this echo that you need to fire a certain individual, and you think, why should I fire this individual? This individual is working well. Now, you don't know why, but if you get this echo over and over again, find some excuse to fire a few people saying we need to reorganize, whatever. Let's say you also fire this individual. Later you find out this individual was actually a time bomb ready to go off. Because this individual had a lot of anger that came out later on. So I'm just telling you, pay attention to your intuition. In life, you can't always wait for the quote-unquote scientific proof to prove that something is real. You need to pay attention to the spirit science too. We know about physical science that is out in the world. We need to also be about our spirit science. When intuition picks something up, pay attention to it. I made several videos about patterns. Just type in patterns, Ari does it, or go to my YouTube page and type in patterns, and you can figure it out. I'll try to make a playlist about patterns too later today. But for now, Dion, just go type in patterns, Ari does it in YouTube, and you can find various videos about patterns. Also some live streams. All right. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for your prayers and decrees. I'll keep you in prayers too. Please stay safe, agree with Christ, and I'll see you next time.